Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 9 of our mindfulness meditation. Go ahead, make your way into your preferred spot and position for today, whether it's seated on the floor in a chair, lying down. But go ahead and just take your time settling into where you're feeling you want to be today. And it might be different than the past couple of days have been, especially if you live in the Northeast, because it has been quite rainy, lots of storms yesterday. So you might just be feeling like you need a little bit more support than the past couple of days. And the nice thing about us building on this time is I don't need to rush so much anymore to kind of explain where we are going. I've set the stage to this point that allowing the body to feel supported is like step one of our practice, because if we're not worried about the agitation or the sensations of the body, then we get to ask the next question, which is, well, what's next? And as we talked about yesterday, when we start to work through the physical sensations of the body and to find a comfortable position of stillness, we can start to bring our awareness to how the breath is moving in and out of our bodies. So go ahead, just as we talked about yesterday, bring your awareness to how you're arriving with your breath this morning. Some of us may have just rolled out of bed, so that may still be that more rhythmic feeling, but not necessarily, because again, we carry all of the previous experiences with us. So we're never without impact. So if something was really great yesterday or not so great, your breath will still be a great indicator of what it is that's affecting your body. So you may notice as you're sitting here that your breath feels, as we talked about, a little bit more in the upper chest region, a little bit more in the ribs, or potentially down in the low belly. So take a moment or two, just begin to notice the way the breath moves in the body and what happens to the shoulders and the jaw. We hold a lot of tension in these areas. They're often referred to as the secondary respiratory system because they're not actually part of the respiratory. But when the breath gets held in our chest, we tend to curl up our shoulders and clench our jaw. So a few breaths in and slowly out allows those shoulders to rest down. So as you come to become aware of how your breath is moving, I'm going to give you a few tips or tricks. For those who are feeling a lot of the breath in the upper chest today, what I'd like you to do as you're bringing your awareness to the breath is observe your exhale. Notice how the exhale moves out of the body. If it feels smooth, maybe it's got a little bit of clunkiness to it, so it's like clunk, clunk, clunk as you're exhaling. Maybe it's short, but just go ahead and forget entirely, if you can, about the inhale and just observe what happens on the exhale. For my individuals who are feeling a lot of energy, a little bit amped up this morning, a little bit like, okay, we got to get going. Those are my individuals with their breath in the chest, in this rib area. So what I would like you to do is to notice your inhale and your exhale, but to also attach the following words. I want you to soften. So to remind yourself that these inhales and exhales are really supposed to be just soft, expressions of this part of our body system. So we don't need to rush off to anything. We're not missing anything. So we can just softly inhale and exhale, even if it's just for our time here today. And then for my individuals who are feeling the breath in the low belly, I would like you, as you're observing your breath, to focus on the inhale. Notice if the inhale is feeling a little bit lazy, maybe a little bit longer. And notice if you can bring a little bit more energy to it. So by bringing the awareness, automatically you're going to start to feel that inhale moving in. And then you're just going to let the exhale go. You may even feel as if the low belly begins to engage. You start to sit up a little bit longer. So now you have even more room to bring that inhale in. And then if you need a little bit more, you can always imagine that low belly like a balloon. So it's going to inflate as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're just going to feel everything kind of come back to that center line. Everything hugs back in. So wherever you are today, play around with those cues on how to bring consciousness, to bring your attention into the breath. And then once you've gotten into that exercise, whatever one you've chosen, if you start to feel like the mind is still doing its own thing and getting ready to wander off, you can, without controlling the breath, begin to assign a count to it. So if you need it, you can take the inhale to a count of 4 and then count backwards on the exhale. But instead of rushing the breath to match a count, I want you to just assign the count to the breath. So if your inhale is way shorter, your count's going to be a little bit quicker. And then if your exhale is a little bit longer, your countdown is going to be a little bit slower. At the end of the practice, at the end of this exercise, whether you continue on doing it here or you continue doing it at various points throughout the day, the point of the exercise is to work towards having a more even inhale count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, without there being any pressure to achieve anything. Your body, remember, is already breathing on its own. So there's no competition for who breathes the best. It's just you and this count. And then as you approach the end of the practice, just notice if you feel any sensations in the body, any shifts. Notice again if the shoulders have decided to create a little bit more space between them and the ears. Notice if the jaw just automatically has unclenched and the teeth separate, a little bit of room there. And with that, we are approximating the end of our 9 minutes here again today. Tomorrow, we're going to move on, working more with the breath, working on ways to not just observe it, but how to, for a lack of a better word, manipulate it in a way that allows us to work through outside forces that are causing those sensations, those instabilities throughout the mind and the body. And with that, we are done. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for day 10, 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation.